What does betrayal do to a relationship or marriage, especially if it's divine? Today we're retelling this and diagnosing patterns. The psychology of the gods. Our focus today is Hera, queen of the gods, patron of marriage, and who also faces chronic infidelity. What emerges is a case study in jealousy, control, and revenge. Episode 2, Hera and the Psychology of Betrayal. Hera is the daughter of Kronos and Rhea. So yes, she is both sister and wife to Zeus. That's a whole other video we'll discuss in the future. As Queen of Olympus, she presides over marriage, childbirth, and civic order. Her worship was pan-Hellenic, with powerful cult centers at the Hedron of Samos and the Argive Hedron near Argos. These were monumental sanctuaries that anchored her authority in the landscape as much as in literature. In myth after myth, Zeus's affairs triggers Hera's retaliation. The pattern is consistent: betrayal, vigilance, displacement of anger onto rivals or their children. Let's get into some examples of what she does. Io. Zeus transforms Io into a cow. Hera demands the cow and sends Argos to guard her. Then she sends a gadfly to torment her after Hermes frees her. The point? The punishment targets the rival, not the husband. Hera's focus was solely on punishing Io without care, leaving her with feelings of confusion and sadness after being turned into a cow against her will. Semele. Hera deceives Semele into asking Zeus to appear in his full divinity. Semele dies instantly. Dionysus is later born. The point? Indirect revenge through manipulation. Not a direct attack on Zeus. Again, her focus is on the woman she tricked and therefore killed, so Dionysus grows up without a mother. Echo. Hera curses Echo, only to repeat the words of others for shielding Zeus's affairs. The point? Social control. Silencing the accomplice. Zeus gets Echo to distract Hera while he goes to cheat, so again, she punishes, but not her husband. Leto, the mother of Apollo and Artemis. Hera withholds a childbirth goddess, Elephidia. Leto labors in pain for 9 days after giving birth to Artemis before she is allowed to give birth to Apollo. The point? Attacking the reproductive success. Control through childbirth. She pushes Leto out of Olympus for being pregnant. She sends a serpent after Leto to torment her and puts fear into any man on earth that might consider giving Leto a place to give birth. Hercules. Not even being named after her changes Hera's retaliation. Hercules literally means praise Hera. Nonetheless, Hera persecutes Hercules repeatedly through many storms and trials. Zeus even punishes Hera once by hanging her from Olympus for tormenting Hercules. The point? Partisan retaliation against the offspring preserves the power dynamic of the marriage. The deception of Zeus. Iliad 14. Hera seduces Zeus on Mount Iliad, lulls him to sleep with the help of sleep and Aphrodite, which swings the tide of the war. The point? Strategic seduction as a counterpoint to a spouse that is unfaithful. These episodes show a consistent coping style. Protect the institution of marriage by enforcing control on everyone except the powerful partner who violates it. This is a literary character analysis, not a clinical diagnosis of a person. Obsessive-compulsive disorder, OCPD. Traits: betrayal, trauma. Response: maladaptive jealousy. Why OCPD traits? Let's look at the hallmarks of OCPD. They include preoccupation with order, rules, control, and rigidity in moral standards fitting a goddess who polices the boundaries of marriage and demands ritual correctness. In myths, Hera's punitive responses aim to reestablish order after Zeus's norm breaking. Betrayal, trauma, response. Betrayal trauma theory explains the extreme reaction when a vital attachment figure violates trust, especially when the victim cannot sever the tie, like in a divine marriage. This helps explain Hera's hypervigilance, indirect revenge, and displacement onto others. She can't leave Zeus. It isn't on the table, so enforcing control everywhere else is. Jealousy research. Not delusional. Hera's jealousy is reactive to real infidelity, not something she just thinks is happening, not imagined in any form. Modern research links infidelity to unforgiveness, rumination, and revenge motivations, especially with anxious attachment and a heightened negative affect. That pattern fits with the escalation we see across the myths. Putting that all together, Hera is the goddess and protector of marriage, but her husband is constantly wounding her with his chronic betrayal. Control restores predictability. Punishment deters future threats to the marriage. Paradoxically, the marriage endures. Jung's lens archetype. Hera embodies a queen archetype: legitimacy, sovereignty, and social order. Threats to the royal bond ignite the shadow, possessiveness, hostility, and coercion. As an archetype, the queen's light is stewardship. The shadow is domination. Doesn't that sound like someone we talked about before? Zeus, maybe? Freud on jealousy, 1922. Freud conceptualized layers of jealousy. Intense jealousy may mix with normal jealousy, with projected and disillusional elements. In Hera's case, the trigger is real betrayal, but the intensity and generalization by punishing bystanders reflects the deeper defensive machinery Freud often described. Defensive mechanisms are unconscious psychological strategies used to cope with the reality and maintaining a self-image. Ancient authors encoded social anxieties into Hera, like the jealous wife trope, yet cult evidence shows communities revered her as a guardian of women, childbirth, and civic order. The gap between literary Hera, punitive, and cult Hera, protector, is a reminder that myth is psychology wrapped in politics. Hera isn't just jealous. She's the embodiment of a system trying to survive persistent betrayal. The clinical language helps, but the mythological truth is older. When vows are broken, some cling tighter to the rules, some burn the rule breakers. Hera does both. If you reach this far, let me know which mythological story captures Hera's psychology the best. Io, Semele, Leto, Heracles, or the depiction on the mountain in Iliad 14 with Zeus. Comment below and let me know what you would like to hear next. Thank you.